All right, welcome everyone to 21Alive News Plus, our broadcast here. We're going to give you latest stories and updated stories before we head into the evening broadcasts. Let's start with our first one. We are just finding out I have this right in front of me. It came to me just now. The Allen County Coroner's Office identifying the woman who died yesterday, Wednesday morning, after crashing a stolen car along Lake Avenue. Police say the crash happened just west of Lake Avenue and Weiss Road intersection. That's around 7 a.m. on Wednesday, yesterday, September 3rd. Officers say an SUV that had been reported as stolen earlier in the day was headed east on Lake Avenue when an officer noticed the stolen vehicle. As the officer was turning around to stop the vehicle, they noticed the car had driven off the road and hit a tree, leaving the driver pinned. The driver was later extracted from the car and pronounced dead after being taken to an area hospital. This is the video from that. On Friday, the coroner identified the driver as 31-year-old Alexandria Francine Bainey of Fort Wayne. Her death has been ruled an accident. The incident does, though, remain under investigation at this time. We're getting new news this afternoon about a Markle baby who died yesterday. We know it's a 7-year-old boy, and he's been identified as the child killed by a family dog, and that was in Markle yesterday. Jason A. Weaver died from multiple blunt force injuries, according to the Huntington Coroner County's office. We've also found out his death has been ruled an accident. First responders were called to a home on North Miller Street on last night for reports of a dog bite. When they arrived to find Weaver in critical condition. Despite life-saving efforts, he died while being taken to a Fort Wayne hospital. The coroner's office also identified the dog involved in the incident as a 5-year-old husky/pit bull mix with, quote, no law enforcement reported instances of aggression. The Huntington County Coroner's Office extends their deepest sympathies to the Weaver family and friends, end quote. The agency says in a press release. And that's what we know right now. We're going to look at this now that a trial is officially over against Jamar Lewis for his stabbing and killing of Perla Nieto. He has been found guilty this afternoon of murder in the stabbing of Perla Nieto. She was a beloved Waynedale Kroger employee, and that led to her passing. That was on December 7th, 2023. We now know Lewis's sentencing will be September 23rd. Here's some background in that case. On the day of the stabbing, Lewis, and this is from court records, I just want to let you know that. On the day of the stabbing, Lewis was at the store about 35 minutes before the homicide, court records show. He left after an argument with Nieto and other employees. Police said Lewis threatened staff before leaving. Upon his return, the suspect walked straight to Nieto, who was working in the self-checkout area, court documents say. Lewis pulled the victim toward him and began stabbing her, then pulled her to the ground and continued the attack. Police identified Lewis as the suspect after reviewing store surveillance video and witness descriptions. That's what court records show. Officers went to his home and found him sitting in a car in front of his home and arrested him. Lewis told police he went to the store to attack Nieto because he did not like how he had been treated when he was at the store before the stabbing. Again, Jamar Lewis has been found guilty today, this afternoon, of the murder and stabbing of Perla Nieto at the Waynedale Kroger on December 7th, 2023. All right, now we're going to look at a story of a woman who has been arrested. That's her right there. What we do know right now is that a 40-year-old woman, there she is, has been accused of child molesting and, like I said, has been arrested today. Ruth Rosales Cruz is charged with 2 counts of child molesting, which carry a potential prison sentence that could be more than 50 years in prison. Rosales Cruz allegedly molested a 13-year-old girl in November. That's according to court records obtained by 21 Investigates. She is currently being held at the Allen County Jail on $35,000 bond. Jail records show she is also being held for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Now we're going to look to Alaska, where an Auburn couple were injured seriously. This is what we know. In Auburn, a woman is dead from Auburn. That was after being hit by a car in Alaska, as I said. It actually happened yesterday in downtown Ketchikan, a tourist town in the Alaskan Panhandle. They say a driver hit two cruise ship passengers in a parking lot who we know is from Auburn before the car went through a fence and ended up in the Ketchikan Creek. They say the couple hit by the car is from Auburn. Paramedics rushed them to the hospital with critical injuries, and the woman later died. Her name has not been released, but we do know she was 57 and her husband is a volunteer firefighter. Two bystanders actually jumped into the creek to help save the driver, who is now recovering in the hospital. And lastly, the WNBA and Indiana Fever are going to have to get by without one of its most recognizable faces. We're talking about the Fever star Caitlin Clark. She has officially announced she will be out for the rest of the season. Clark has been sidelined since July 15th due to a groin injury, which this video is showing when she got it, clearly in pain and upset. She did say in a social media post recently that she's not going to improve enough to return to the regular games right now. Even with the injuries, she's still working to keep and improve her skills in non-contact practice and training, but she says that's not going to be enough right now. She wrote, quote, "Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I'm feeling." That's all we have for you right now on the 21Alive News Plus newscast. Our news at 4 will be starting soon. Until then, have a good day.